by manipulating the stock market. They were the ones that the newspapers, the Chronicle, the Call, the Bulletin, were constantly focusing on. You never actually read about the thousands of people who were ruined in those stock gyrations, which essentially robbed them of their savings.
You know, the thing is with the top-level executives, like this gentleman that just left Webvan, well, he'll always land on his feet, right? He was the president of Anderson Consulting. So the executive suite's always fine. You know, it's everybody else.
I feel that it ain't no boom because, look, I'm in a union. I work, you know, I do brick, plaster, stucco, fireproofing, and I've been laid off for 5 months and haven't got a job yet. You know, I got a job for 4 days, now I'm laid off again.
You know, it's a pretty sad commentary on where we're going as a country, what our values are, when everything is so driven by capitalism and the desire to make money and, you know, the American dream, that it forgets who the people are.
Even at $10 an hour, working 46 hours a week, I couldn't afford rent anywhere in this city.
So wherever I see something in the paper, I try to move on it and call, but I'll be honest with you, you get so many no's and so many rejections that I just don't want to do it anymore. How many kids do you have? How long have you been on your job? Have you ever been evicted? I just can't take it no more. You know, it's like, how many times do you have to slam the door in my face before I stop knocking?
So where are you staying right now?
Right now we're staying in our car. You know, we live in our car. Plus, we stay over in the West Wind in a hotel. You know, when we have enough money. But mostly we're staying in the car.
So it's not surprising to me that the same way a lot of speculation caused the stock market crash, you know, a lot of over-speculation kind of caused this bubble to grow too quickly, and then it burst upon itself.
The bubble popped, and all this .com stuff started going south. Kind of sorry about that. Wish it could have gone on forever. You were supposed to be in the long boom here. What happened? We're supposed to go on for 200 some odd years. The NASDAQ was supposed to hit 10,000. The Dow Jones was supposed to hit 40,000, and it never happened. You know, we started thinking, well, okay, it hasn't happened yet. This is just a little setback. This is a hiccup. I believe that we're still going to go on. We're still going to have this boom. It's only been a few months of slow, but, you know, it's still going on. We're still going to go somewhere.
And it's not really about that one person. It's not about that one middle-class white man that works at a .com. It's about the system. The system creates the situation in which one person getting a house means that 7 other people are homeless. And this is the system under which we live.
Y eso va a ser el mismo efecto, la misma repercusión, sea aquí en El Salvador, sea en los Estados Unidos, sea en Francia, en cualquier lugar. Siempre es el mismo problema. Siempre es el mismo problema.
These towering creations of the empire builders of today are headquarters for business enterprises that encircle the globe and employ vast armies of men and women.
Are working people in this piece? Yeah! People of color in this piece? Yeah! Shout it out, shout it out.
How do we make connections between the grassroots and sort of more global kind of mechanisms, so that change doesn't remain at the level of the community, but that in fact we can intervene in broader political struggles.
Can we really talk about having some systemic change and addressing, global issues? Because transnational corporations are in our backyard.
San Francisco is a very, very interesting city in this international economy. We serve as one of the global capitals of the Pacific Rim. What happens in San Francisco, make no mistake, what happens here is watched very closely across the world. What we're doing in terms of neighborhoods trying to take power back is threatening everything that they're about.
So how do we change those systems? How do we create new systems where it's really about the people and it's really for the people, and where it's not this top down, but it comes from the grassroots. It comes from the earth.
It's not just about this fighting ways of keeping Latinos in the mission, or working class people, or artists in the mission. It really goes deeper to more philosophical or political questions about what type of society we want to live in.
We can have a country where human needs are first. We can have a country where everybody knows how to read. We can have a country where everybody has a home.
That you can spend more time with your kids, that you can spend more time with your friends and families, and work a little bit, but work isn't what your life's all about, you know what I'm saying? That's change.
And the most important thing I think that we have to remind ourselves of is that we win. We accomplish things. We achieve concrete victories. We begin to realize we don't need the people who work in City Hall. We can do it ourselves. It takes some work, but we can do it ourselves.
Friends and family members, we're gathered here this afternoon because God has given us another chance to try to put back the unity in community. And by the way that I see it right now, I think that we're fulfilling that.
All these neighborhood forces came together to defend these families against the eviction, and they won. They're still there. They're on Shotwell Street, and they're living proof of the resistance and what resistance can do and what it means. And that's what community really means. The community got between them and their eviction, and it worked.
Not only are we here to have a block party, but to celebrate a victory. To celebrate a victory of some families that were close to being evicted from their long-term homes. Throughout the long, hard, painful, suffering struggle, the families were able to win the evictions and continue living in their house.
We've got food. We're going to have congueros. Galo, who's a teacher here, he's having